This is me. And that is my hair. This is also a picture of me, and you guessed it, that's my hair. This is also a picture of me and my hair, except that's also not my hair, because in this picture I'm wearing a hairpiece. Like I am in this photo, and this photo. Why am I wearing a hairpiece? Because I have alopecia. Alopecia is a disease where your immune system attacks your hair follicles, causing them to fall out. I have alopecia areata, meaning your hair will fall out in various patches of varying sizes all over your head. There are many other kinds as well, such as alopecia totalis, where you lose all the hair on your head, and alopecia universalis, where you lose all of the hair on your entire body. Nobody's really sure what exactly causes it. People have no idea. Some people think it could do with gluten, some people could do with stress. I have a lot of health issues, so it's possible it could be connected to that. And that's the most frustrating thing, is that there's no set symptom other than your hair falling out. There's other things connected to it. I get these little things called exclamation point hairs, where the hair follicle is a lot thinner at the base of your scalp, but thicker at the top where it broke off. It's not contagious, and it can happen to basically anybody. Sometimes your hair grows back, and sometimes it doesn't. I have experienced the symptoms of alopecia areata 4 times. The first time was in the 3rd grade. I had a few little patches on the front and the back of my head, but this was easily hidden by headbands, and I was so little of it. I didn't really notice because I was too busy wanting to ride the slide or read a book. I really did not pay attention to it at all. In 7th grade, I got it again, but again only on the back of my hair. So it was started at the base of my scalp and went up. It wasn't noticeable to me again, so it didn't affect me too much. I did start getting steroid shots then to help speed up regrowth of the hair. The summer before sophomore year was the 3rd and probably the worst experience I have had with alopecia areata overall. It started right in the summer before sophomore year and ended probably a few months before the end of my senior year of high school. Not only did I lose about 50% of the hair on my head, I also lost half of my right eyebrow from about here over. That one really destroyed me. I spent school days unable to focus because I was so worried about who was going to look at my hair. I was so worried every single day that someone was going to see. My grades dropped, I was so stressed out, and everything just was not good. At times, I couldn't even look in the mirror because I was physically repulsed at what I saw. It all started out with just like a little spot right there. I'd show you a picture if I had one, but I didn't let any pictures be taken of me. I would even wear a hat around my family members. My family, because I wouldn't want them to see. I didn't want them to look at me. I didn't want them to see that there was something wrong. Even though they knew, I didn't want them to see. I even wore a hat to bed. This is right about when I started wearing headbands. I would use them to hide the initial spot. It was not that big at the time, so I could easily just sort of cover it. Eventually, I managed to find a really great place where I got a very little hairpiece that could cover the initial extent of the damage. See, this is the little baby hairpiece. It's very small, and it was able to cover, because I would wear my hair with a side part over here, and then I just flip the rest of the hair over, so the extent of my hair loss would be easily hidden. Unfortunately, that winter, the spots grew even bigger, and other ones showed up on this side and in the back a little bit, and they grew enough to merge with each other, so it completely got uncontrollable. The little hairpiece really didn't cut it anymore, because I lost basically from right around there. I lost that whole part of my hair. I managed to acquire another full head hairpiece, but I was too afraid to wear it because I was afraid it looked too much like a fake wig. And so instead, I would just take a headband and hold on, and I would just stretch it as far as it could go, thinking that that would help, but let's be honest, it really didn't. And I have videos of myself and I just cringe watching myself because I thought that looked okay, and in reality, I just was in denial that it was getting any bigger. I was just too afraid of wearing it. Once I did, things got a lot better. This is actually the piece. It's a lot blonder than me, so like you can kind of see. I'll point out some photos, yeah. I have not worn this, I should just tell you, I have not worn this piece since before junior year. So that's how old this one is, and it eventually grew to be a lot lighter than my actual hair. Wearing that piece made things ultimately get a lot better for me, and I felt a lot more confident, but that's when I lost half of my eyebrow. Now, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I got pretty good at faking half an eyebrow. I would just fill it in with makeup and make the little hairs and then fill in both of my brows and make it look like it was supposed to be that way. The fall of my junior year, I got an even better hairpiece. And this is the one that I have generally stuck with. This is the one that I wore up until I felt confident to not wear a hairpiece anymore. Look familiar? Hold on. How about that? Is that familiar? The only difference is that this piece was a lot darker, and in the past it matched my hair a lot better. It's also kind of changes color from repeated washing. As you can see, this piece and this piece are very different colors. So, and you can imagine this was even darker. So when I first came to school with this new piece, I was attacked with the, "Oh my god, did you dye your hair? Your hair looks different, you must have done something to it. Wow, your hair looks so good, what did you do? Did you dye your hair?" And I didn't want to lie, but I didn't really want to tell the truth either, so I just sort of went, kind of? I gave a lot of weird answers, so if you were one of those people that asked that and I kind of was weird about it to you, well, now you know. This hairpiece worked out really, really well for me, so I continued to wear it through senior year up until when I felt confident that I could take it off and completely just wear it with my hair. All during this time, I was really worried that my headpiece would slip off or somebody would notice, or I don't know, anything that could go wrong might have gone wrong, so I wanted to be prepared for it. Thus, I continued to wear headbands even with a part that looked, even with a part, I don't know if you can see, that looks pretty convincing like a person part. So I kept wearing headbands just so my hairpiece wouldn't slip and so it would take attention away from the actual hair itself and more onto the headband. And also because half the school expected me to wear headbands every day. I would always worry if I didn't have one on, so I figured, it's not worth the stress, so I would just throw on another headband. During this time, I underwent several treatments to try to accelerate the growth of my hair and potentially stop, but since we don't know much, it was really hard to kind of fight it. I used a topical cream, and I also used very painful steroid shots, which, let me tell you, they're not fun. Eventually, my hair did grow back towards the end of my senior year, and I kept the hairpiece on at school because I wasn't 100% sure I felt comfortable yet. The hair was many different lengths and it didn't really look like a style. It just was like, oh, this hair is 3 inches long, but this one is 8 and this one is 5. Woo! And it didn't even look like layers, it just sort of looked like... Eventually I started wearing high ponytails. I would take all the short pieces and pull them up into this high ponytail and then no one would know. And I started wearing that to rehearsals for shows that I was in, and I would keep the hairpiece on when I'd actually go to real school. My eyebrow grew back completely, and I even was able to wear my hair without my hairpiece for my last high school show. And by April of 2015, I was finally at a place where I felt comfortable enough to go without my hairpiece. But I did say 4 times, didn't I? Did you miss something? I'll give you a second. The first time was in the 3rd grade. In 7th grade, I got it again. The summer before sophomore year was the 3rd. If you haven't already kind of figured it out, then I will confirm Yes, I am in yet another stage of alopecia areata hair loss. Yay. I found another very, very small spot on exactly May 12th, 2015. Not even a month after I felt confident going without my hairpiece. I don't know the extent of this spot. It could get bigger. Alright, ready, set, here we go. Oh, it's right. Ready, set, you're never seen before, never done on camera before. Bam, bam. See that? There we go. We have above my ear, all the way to the back here. And there's already some growth. I don't know, can you hear me? This has been the extent of this current hair loss phase. There's another spot somewhere in here. Oh, I found it. And I think there's one here. I don't know. I'm thankful that it's not awful yet, to knock on wood. I don't have any wood in the immediate vicinity. I'm hoping it'll stabilize soon. I'm already getting steroid shots to help it, and I'm just hoping that it won't get any worse than this, but then again, it's alopecia. You never really know what's gonna happen. Everything is unexpected. I am going to probably have to live with this for the rest of my life, and I could lose my hair 12 times after this. I could lose it 2. I could lose it never. I don't know how many more times I'm going to lose my hair. I've learned a lot in these past few experiences. I know I've got plenty of wonderful resources and wonderful people in my life who will be there. There's this idea that when you have a disease or a disorder or any sort of disability that you're not whole, that you're broken as a person, that something is missing, and that your illness is you and that is all that you are. But that's just one thing that is plaguing you. It's not you. I am not my alopecia areata. I know that I am a perfectly wonderful person who happens to have alopecia, and it's not my defining quality. I have plenty of qualities that I like about myself. And yeah, sure, so I have a disorder that no one really knows what causes it and no one really knows how to cure it. But I know that I am myself, I am comfortable with myself, and that whatever happens has nothing to do with me. I didn't deserve this. I am not a broken person because of this. This has really only made me stronger in my self-confidence. It's very important not to base your self-worth off of physical characteristics. I know this is something I struggle with, that plenty of people struggle with, but when you look inside of a person, there's so much more than just what you see. There's so much more depth. There's so much more beauty inside a person than what you see on the outside. I know it's very, very cliche, but it's true. That's why people keep saying it. Your beauty is what you make of it. If you see yourself as beautiful, then you're beautiful. You don't need someone to tell you. You don't need to look like someone in a magazine to think you're beautiful. All you need is you and how you feel to know that you're beautiful. When I first started with my alopecia and I first came to understand what it was, mainly in the case of what happened in my sophomore year when it really took over me and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I felt like it was all that defined me. I would hide, I would be afraid. I thought that I was the only one. I couldn't tell if anyone else was experiencing this. But the truth is, there are countless people who experience this. I know people within my town who have issues with it, people just in the state, and then also look online. There are plenty of forums, places, even Tumblr has a tag and people are there supporting each other, caring for each other, helping each other. So when you think that you might be the only one, just know that you're not alone and there's always someone out there who might be experiencing the same thing, and always someone you can talk to. If you need an example, if you think you're the only one experiencing alopecia areata, hi. You would actually be surprised at how many places there are that cater to people with hair loss, from whether it be alopecia areata, totalis universalis, cancer hair loss, you name it. If you lost hair, there are plenty of places that will offer hair pieces and wigs for people who are suffering from hair loss. All you gotta do is look. I even know there are places that if you're under 18, they will help you get a hairpiece for free, as long as you are a child under 18. And even if you can't afford a hairpiece, or if you're too scared to try to get a hairpiece, or even if like your spot's really small, feel free to experiment with hats, scarves. I love wearing hats, and I'm starting to experiment with scarves, particularly if I want to wear my hair up, but I really don't want to let the entire world see the extent of my loss in the back. People are much nicer than you think. Sure, there are gonna be some jerks, but when you keep it a secret, and this is from my experience, it feels a lot more shameful than it actually should be. I felt the need to hide throughout most of my high school career about it. I didn't tell anyone. I just completely kept it a secret. But then eventually I actually started to tell some of my classmates. No one had a problem, no one mocked me. And then it felt much better. It felt like a weight had been taken off of me, and it felt so much easier to kind of go through my life knowing that there were a few people that had my back. And eventually I started to tell more and more people. It didn't feel so shameful anymore. It didn't feel like something that I had to hide. Most people are going to be nice about it, and most people are good about it. If you think that someone might be wearing a hairpiece, please don't point it out. If they are and they feel comfortable, then they will tell you. I once had somebody, I'm not gonna name names, stand over me. I was sitting down at a table, and right there in public, they just go, "Are you wearing a wig?" I froze. I didn't know what to say. I just went, no. I was mortified. I later pulled that person over and explained the situation, and then they apologized, and everything was fine. And it just, at the moment, I wanted to crawl into a hole and die. I was so just upset. I didn't know what to do. I had never had that really happen to me before. So ultimately, if you see someone and you suspect that they're wearing a wig or that they're wearing a hairpiece, just don't do it. Now this is a little thing, and this is completely up to a person who has alopecia that might be wearing hair or not. If they get a hairpiece and they call it their hairpiece or their hair, call it their hairpiece or their hair. If they call it a wig, then call it a wig. It's not a huge deal. It's not like a deal breaker when it comes to a friendship with alopecia, but it's a nice thing. It shows that you acknowledge the term that they use. If you know somebody with alopecia, do what you can to support them. If they're having a tough time, then remind them that they are beautiful no matter what their hair looks like. It's really the little things that can make someone feel really great. Again, if you have alopecia, don't be afraid to get creative with scarves or hats or playing with things. There's plenty of tutorials online, there's plenty of things you can look for. And if you're totally comfortable just bearing it all and going without a hairpiece or a hat, all the power to you. There are plenty of people who do, and I 100% would support you with that decision. Lastly, if you have alopecia and you're watching this, always remember that it's not your fault. You're not your hair, you're not a freak. Your illness does not define you. You are such a strong person for getting through this. No matter how much hair you have, you're still perfectly beautiful. I only really say this because this is the kind of stuff I wanted to hear when I was going through it. I personally am continuing my journey with alopecia. I'm not gonna let it stop me from living my life. I'm currently a college student pursuing a degree, and I haven't let it control me whatsoever. I'm working on getting steroid shots, and I'm continually pursuing hair resources. And if anybody else with alopecia sees this video, then I love you, and I really wish you luck with your personal journey. Like and subscribe if you want to. I don't know, you're You have your own free will. You can make your own choices. Yeah, ultimately the main goal of this video was to talk about my experience and just little things to let my social circle know about alopecia. I guess that's it. See ya!